Well, Syria's highest-level defector is calling for others to quit the regime as fighting continues to rage inside the country. This amateur footage claims to show rebels coming under fire during street battles in Aleppo on Tuesday. The opposition says at least 70 people died in the latest violence. Meanwhile, Syria's former Prime Minister is speaking out after defecting to Jordan last week. At a news conference, Riyad Hijab said the regime is on its last legs.
I can confirm to you, given my experience and the position I had, that the regime's morale, economy, and military has completely collapsed and is only in control of no more than 30% of Syrian lands. During the days I worked for the government, I remained steadfast in public, but only God knows my pain and torture when I would witness and hear the shellings on Homs, Dara, Idlib, Hama, Deir ez-Zor, Aleppo, and Damascus, and other cities, while I was incapable of making a decision to end their suffering and injustice.
Intense fighting has continued in the Syrian city of Aleppo as the daily battles between rebels of the Free Syrian Army and government forces make life for civilians there intolerable. The search for food has become a risky business. The Syrian Red Crescent is said to be delivering aid to some areas on the outskirts, but mainly the fighting needs to stop before the real quantities needed can get through. In Damascus, the UN's Valerie Amos has begun a three-day mission to try to persuade both sides to respect international humanitarian law.
We have a situation where there's an ongoing humanitarian crisis. 3 months ago, we thought that there were about 1 million people who were in need of assistance. We're now having to revise that number to about 2.5 million.
Others are fleeing the 17-month-long conflict. Displaced Syrians are pouring into Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon and Turkey. Overall, the UN has registered over 155,000 refugees, but the true figure is thought much higher, as thousands fail to come forward for fear of reprisals upon their return.
And America's most senior military officer, General Martin Dempsey, has accused Iran of working to develop a militia within Syria to fight on behalf of the embattled government of President Bashar al-Assad. Well, General Dempsey said he believed that the militia was being used to take the pressure off Syrian government forces as they fight rebels across the country.
The Syrian army has been fighting now for about 18 months or so, and any army would be taxed with that kind of pace. So we are expecting that they are having, and you know, sanctions and other pressures. They are having resupply problems. They are having morale problems. They are having the kind of wear and tear that would come of being in a fight for as long as they have. And I actually think that's why Iran is stepping in to form this militia to take some of the pressure off of the Syrian military.
The Free Syrian Army says it carried out a bomb attack in Damascus. A spokesman told this program it was targeting a security meeting at the Army staff headquarters in the capital. Abu Noor said 8 devices were planted inside the building. The explosion appears to have set fire to a fuel tanker. Well, Noor said the operation had been planned over a month.
What the state television was reporting was that the bomb was attached to a fuel tanker which was in the car park close to the hotel, which is also part of a military compound. The car park is part of a military compound. So as you say, the Free Syrian Army are saying that it was the military that was the target of this attack and not the UN observers. Now the UN observers, they're a very diminished force. They're not moving around Syria at the moment, and they were caught up in the violence several times before. Also, as you say, there have been a number of bomb attacks in Damascus and also in Aleppo. The main group that claimed responsibility for those attacks was called the Al-Nusra Front. It claimed attacks, bloody twin suicide bombings in Damascus between January and March, and another attack in May. Now, of course, it's too soon to say whether they had any link to this attack, what the real target was. I suspect we'll be hearing more further details in the coming hours.